Coming up on Mountain News this morning, one former Eastern Kentucky Sheriff's deputy has received a sentencing after being indicted for several charges. And an Oley County clerk was indicted after months of ignoring issues in the community.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning, I'm Madison. It is 6 a.m. on January 5th, 2024. Let's check in with meteorologist Shane Smith for a look at your forecast this morning. Now, Shane, I know we might not know the precipitation that we'll get, but we do know it's cold.
Yeah, we know that it's definitely going to be cold, and we know precipitation's coming. It's just what kind and wind is still a little bit in question. We'll talk about that more here in just a second. Right now, clear skies early in the night. Now going to a little bit of light cloud cover, especially high up in the atmosphere. Little cirrus deck of clouds moving in. Pinpoint Doppler dry, and you can see a dry camera network across the region. But where we had those clear skies early in the night last night and early this morning, we have let the temperatures drop. 20 London, 23 Williamsburg and Wise, Pikeville 25, Jackson 28 into Monticello. It is a very cold morning out there, and there is some thick frost in some spots. So be sure to give yourself a few extra minutes to get the wind chill cleaned off. Now we're going in the mid 40s today. We're dry today, but tonight a wintry system arrives. Looks like snow to wintry mixed to rain. The question is, when and how much of each, and we'll try to break that down in a little bit more detail here in just a few minutes, Madison.
All right, Shane, thank you. One former Eastern Kentucky Sheriff's deputy has received a sentencing for several charges, including rape and sodomy. WYMT's Chandler Wilcox gives us the latest on the case.
Former Letcher County Sheriff's Deputy Ben Fields was indicted on several charges, including third-degree rape, sodomy, tampering, and perjury. Fields faced Pike County Circuit Judge Eddie Coleman via Zoom, with victim Sabrina Atkins in attendance.
I recognize that Ms. Atkins is a victim of this case, but I'm also believing that the criminal justice system is a victim of this case when people behave this way.
Coleman sentenced Fields to 7 years in prison. Victim Sabrina Atkins expressed a lot of emotion.
I've just come and you see the impact this has had on me and my family. So how much this has taken time for me and my son. Here's one thing you gave me back, was knowing I was a strong, independent woman.
Fields will also be listed as a registered sex offender as a result of his actions.
You're going to do outpatient sex offender treatment, and you're not to have contact with anyone with the named victim in this case. Notice it said on the agreement, said something to the effect.
That was Chandler Wilcox reporting. Ben Fields did not comment during the hearing. Judge Eddie Coleman says Fields is to report to the Letcher County Jail by Friday at noon. The county clerk in Oley County has been indicted following an investigation centered within the Kentucky Attorney General's office. 41-year-old Shanna Oliver is accused of tampering with public records and official misconduct. She is accused of unlawfully refusing to deliver public records and failing to send paperwork regarding a trailer transfer. According to the indictment, both allegations deal with information that should have been delivered to the Kentucky Department of Vehicle Regulations. Kennedy Little lives in Oley County and says there has always been issues with how much Oliver works.
Like if you work, Monday through Friday and your only options to come in during lunch, well, you come in on Tuesday and the office is closed, you come in on Wednesday, the office is closed. What days is she open? What days is the public able to come in, not only for vehicles, but for deed searches, for title searches, for marriage license, other things like that's not being able to be bought.
A spokesperson for the Attorney General said he could not comment further on the indictment. Other local officials in Oley County say they have been told that Oliver plans to retire and have someone else take over the office later this month. A Johnson County man is being indicted for reportedly using technology to try and get a minor to engage in sexual conduct. Last month, 48-year-old Kevin Conley was indicted by a Johnson County grand jury after trying to confirm rumors about whether or not Conley was a former educator at Johnson Central High School. We reached out to the school and received the following statement, quote, "We are aware of the allegations and the recent indictment of a former employee. Although we cannot comment publicly regarding personnel or student matters, the district is continuing to fully cooperate with the Kentucky State Police and the Commonwealth's Attorney's Office throughout the duration of this case." Conley's arraignment is set for January 26th. A death investigation is underway in Floyd County. State police say a man was found in the Drift community on Tuesday. He was identified as 64-year-old James Osborne of Minnie. Osborne was found outside of his vehicle along Drift Hollow Road. His body was sent to the state medical examiner's office for an autopsy. Students are back in the classroom this week following the holiday break, but classes were canceled at one Madison County school due to not having any heat in the building. The pipes in the school building at Model Laboratory School were made of steel and actually burst due to the old age versus cold weather. However, the superintendent says it has still affected the classroom learning environment.
Some of our classrooms are in the 50s, the temperature's in the 50s, and we just feel that that's too cold for our students to learn comfortably and safely.
In a survey done by the Government Accountability Office, 41% of districts nationwide need to update or replace heating, ventilation, and air conditioning systems, representing about 36,000 schools. The Pike County Detention Center is working to get its inmates out of the cells and into the classroom. The detention center recently graduated a few people from its GED partnership program, which brings instructors into the facility to help the inmates reach a milestone in their education. One recent graduate of the program said it was an important part of his recovery and rehabilitation, and he looks forward to building on the success once he is released.
Really needed it because I got kicked out of school when I was young, and I found this as an opportunity to better myself while I was locked up. So I started looking into the GED program, and it's a really good program. The teachers are really helpful. They helped me through it, and if it wasn't for them, I probably wouldn't have got through it.
Ashley says he feels like the program is helping him get on the right path to progress and employment. National Blood Donor Month is always in January, and the Kentucky Blood Center says the occasion comes at a time when they really need blood. Officials say about 25% of folks will need a blood transfusion at least once during their lifetime. Fenton Smith has found a passion in donating blood, so much so that he is traveling through every state to do it.
So the first time I was away, I was in Florida. I donated blood there. Then I was in Michigan, then New Hampshire, then Arizona, then Colorado. After 3 years, I realized I had donated blood in 16 different states.
Up to this point, Smith has donated blood in all but 3 states. Smith added he hopes his story will inspire others.
.641 now, a check of the forecast, and we are starting off dry and cool this morning across the mountains. 21 right now outside the WYMT studio here in Hazard. It is a chilly, chilly start to your morning. 23 right now, Pikeville Medical Center, and you can see the PMC cam showing we are dry over into the Big Sandy. Dry also over at UVA-Y. It's 23 degrees there right now. And we will continue to see those clouds thicken up as we go throughout the day. Pinpoint Doppler not picking up on any precipitation now. It will later, though, as snow will move in and then quickly change over to rain. That'll be after midnight for most of us. Thermometers currently running into the teens and 20s, factor in the wind, and it's feeling just a little bit cooler than that across the area. We are only topping out into the mid-40s today, and then we wait for that wintry precipitation to arrive tonight. We'll break down what to expect with it and talk about if we'll see any accumulation or not coming up here in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Shane, and thank you for joining us. The time is now 6:42. Still to come on Mountain News this morning. A city is mourning in Iowa after a school shooting that killed 1 and injured 5 others.
Stop.